Let's get started. Hello, everyone. How are you all? Thank you for joining. This is the first of the 4 episodes of our API August Showcode live stream. I'm Rajesh Bavanantham, a solution architect from NGINX. You might see a bit of exciting with me. It's my first live stream, and also I'm very enthusiastic about the API and anything to do with APIs. In the coming next 30-minute session, I'll show you how easy you could set up NGINX as an API gateway in any given environment. This is meant to be a follow-up, a training session or a demo session, I would say. You should see the quick start, the links in your YouTube description, or actually I'll see whether I can actually post it. No, I couldn't post it from here, but I'm pretty sure you should be able to see the links for the GitHub, which we have already shared in the description. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump into the demo. Before we get into the demo, I would like to set some context, what we are going to look into it. So in this case, I'm going to start with the NGINX context, where we will be predominantly seeing out of the 5, what you're seeing here, like a streams, events, and HTTP, server block and location block. We will be more concentrating on HTTP server and location block. The idea behind is to take the code from the GitHub, and it's already constructed. It's pretty much opinionated, the way how I really wanted to actually construct an API gateway, because mostly the operation people tend to actually run the API gateway, and the developers or the API owners tend to onboard APIs. And when the microservices are ready or the backend services are ready, they tend to expose the services as an API to external world. So NGINX as a popular reverse proxy, it can be very easily constructed as an API gateway. Here, as you can see, the HTTP block is the one which actually helps you to for the HTTP traffic, and the server block is the one where you will define your the server names. For example, if you're running an API domain called api.google.com, then that that kind of definition actually comes into the server block. The locations block actually let you to define your APIs, your endpoints, how it would be consumed by the end customer. This is a very high level. Let's dwell into the detail as well. A sample config for NGINX, if you place such a config into the NGINX, it actually creates a server, and it serves the request in a way that customers can consume it. As you can see, the high-level config of it does actually have events. For today's session, we're not going to look into events. Mostly, we are going to look into HTTP APIs. So starting from HTTP, you can define a server block. You can have multiple server block, but mostly the customers tend to have a single server block where they tend to have their API server running within that. And each server can have multiple locations as well. When I say location, it is more of an API that get exposed or that get consumed by your consumers. Next to the server block, we also have a block called upstream, where you configure where is your backend service running, what is the IP address or the DNS of your IP address, and which port it is listening to, and where you want to route your request on the backend. So the way how I have constructed the API gateway, I'm sure you, in case if you're opening your GitHub location where it says DIY API gateway, you can see such a folder structure. The way how I structured was one thing I kept in mind, how easily my customers can actually onboard the APIs. Setting up an API gateway is a one-time thing, but onboarding APIs depends on your use case. It actually happens sometimes every hour or every day or every week. onboarding API becomes more of a repetitive task compared to provisioning an API gateway. So idea behind the whole session today is to actually, we have a ready-made API gateway, an opinionated way of constructing it, where you have a server blocks already defined. Letting this actually helps you to enables you to onboard your APIs, which is a route to a particular folder, and a relevant upstream to a particular folder will quickly help you to onboard APIs. As you can see, the way how I defined is I have a separate folder called API Gateway. That's the folder which will have all the configuration. I will in a minute I will show you the code as well, if in case if you don't have access to it. The API Gateway will have all the policies, all the elements what a gateway server should have. And the policies is the one which is where you tend to define, okay, this is my rate limiting, this is how I want to assert my the job token which is presented along with the API. All those policies actually goes into the policies folder. For today's session, we are not going to look into policy. That's going to be the next one. We will predominantly look into how you can apply policy and secure your API workloads. The routes is the one which we are going to look into it. That's the place where you tend to onboard your APIs. Steps purely for testing, as quickly to test your structure, how it would look like. I kept it for a reason to just to test it. It's not necessary you should have it. And upstream is the folder where you have all your backend service information, where you should be routing the incoming request to, like load balancing between your backend service or even pointing to a DNS server. The NGINX conf is the file which NGINX require to be there as a root file. That's the one which actually expects it to be there, so that it actually loads rest of the NGINX configuration as part of the runtime. The SSL folder for today's session, we are still not going to dwell into that in detail. It's mostly going to hold the SSL certificate for your API gateway server, but we will be looking more in deep on the next session, how on the security subject. So before we get into the demo, I would love to actually show you the repository. I'm sure you have the access to all of this repository. I just wanted to give an overview of what we are going to achieve. For today's session, we are going to go do two things. One is we are going to actually deploy the NGINX Plus code locally in the Docker environment. At the same time, we are also going to provision the infrastructure with an API gateway along with a couple of microservices, which I have developed particularly for this session, and deploy that into GCP. We'll see how that gets provisioned, how you can test that quickly as well. So to do that, I just wanted to give an idea about this. So this is the folder structure I just explained to you. So this actually gives you a clear way of a clear instruction how you can run this locally. To run this, all you need is a license from NGINX Plus. There is a link probably you would be seeing in the YouTube link where it shows how you can acquire the license. It's pretty easy to get that one. All you have to do is get that a trial license, and if you place that in the folder, the root folder, and just run this one, you don't have to do much stuff. It actually get packaged with some of the APIs. And also, I have shared those APIs here, so you can actually go and change a couple of APIs in place. You can go and change. All of them are Node.js, very, very simple services, which I will explain how it would how it would work in the environment. So in the DIY, as I was explaining, so this actually has all the folders I just explained in the previous slide, the API gateways and the policy rate limits and routes, upstreams, and NGINX conf. This is the repository where I have used a Terraform to go and create the whole infrastructure, end-to-end infrastructure for using NGINX Plus. I also, part of that, I have also deploying some of the microservices for the quick testing, so that you can actually see the power of how easily you can test an end-to-end solution with a single click. So let's jump into the demo now. But before we go to the demo, it's a demo time. Demo is never an easy one. It's always hard. It's 10 to fail. The crazy time we all need God. I was looking for a demo God, and I couldn't find a demo God, but I found a demigod who happens to live here in Australia. So with all his blessings, let's see how we can actually make this to work. I'm going to try running this in multiple environment. Let me share my application code. So walking through the configuration of the file, the ones which you already have access, I just wanted to give a quick overview of how this has been constructed. So as I mentioned, NGINX conf is the file which actually helps you to load the rest of the configuration in places. So here what I have done is I have included the server.conf, which actually sits inside the API gateway. The API gateway has got some of the high-level policies, which will be included as part of the server block, where it actually includes the route configuration and the upstream configuration as part of the server config. So there are some global policies I have defined here. This is very easy to go and fix it. Some of the policies where you can say that what should be your maximum body size. This is not going to be more of API specific. You can override that, but it can be defined in the API level that get applied at the server block level itself. When you apply a policy in a server block, that get affected to all the location block. But if you want to apply a policy within a location block, which I say location, it is more of an API, then you can actually define it. You can do that, define and place that policy within this folder and include as part of your location block. We will look into this, how to apply policy, probably in the next session. For today's session, we are not going to look into that. Predominantly, we're going to look into how you're going to onboard the routes and upstreams. I have some of the APIs I have defined here, like a F1 API, like to find Ferrari, sorry, not Ferrari, F1 drivers. I have a simple API which I've been onboarding, where you can actually see a hello NGINX Plus, where it gives just echo the request with all the information you just pass through. I also applied some policies here in the location level, where it actually instruct NGINX Plus only to accept a GET. If it actually sends any other HTTP method, it will reject it with 405. And I'm also forwarding this to an upstream API. So the contract here is, as a developer, all I have to do is I have to onboard this API with the route, and then I just forward this to this API, to this upstream. If you would notice that I didn't populate the server name or server location of the upstream API, the beauty of NGINX Plus is you could actually do this in the runtime. There is an API in the NGINX Plus world where you can go and easily provision your API, because it's tend to dynamically change over the period. So NGINX Plus gives you an opportunity where you can go and easily change your API endpoints, the upstream endpoints on the fly. It's the same here for the hello as well. I didn't mention it. So let's actually jump into the code, show code. Let me go back to the first one. What I wanted to do is let's actually build my local Docker image. these instructions, whatever I'm doing as of now, you can actually do this by yourself. It's very easy. All you have to do is the code is out there. You can just download it, get the file, and you should be able to run this using the instructions that I have given. At the same time, I also would like to use the similar code where I have terraformed the same base NGINX file. And I have clearly given the instruction to run this in the GCP as well. I couldn't finish the AWS. Hopefully, I should be able to finish it today or tomorrow, which I will share it with. But this code, if you take it with GCE, you should be able to do that quite easily in any of the GCP environment if you have access to it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to apply. So let it run. I will. So here the Docker image is running. We have the Docker image. Now what we have to do is we have to run the Docker. We build the Docker image. So now the NGINX Plus API Gateway, is it ready? Let me check that. No errors. It looks clean. So other thing which NGINX Plus actually gives you is a super cool dashboard, which I will share you in a second. So the NGINX Plus, which I run locally, it actually has a dashboard. Now we have the API gateway running with some of the API done. You can configure. This is totally out of the box. If you take my NGINX Plus code, you can see this straight away. You have HTTP zones and HTTP upstreams, and you can see, as I mentioned earlier, for some of the APIs, I didn't mention where you should route the API to. So whatever I'm doing through this page, I can do that using API as well. So I have a service which is already running Node.js service on local, the F1 API, and I'll do the hello NGINX as well. It's the same port, a different port I'm running. So here you can actually specify if your upstream route context route is different, you can specify that route as well. But for simplicity, I didn't do that. So now I have configured two of this endpoint, and so now my backend service is ready. So now I'm going to switch between my let's test this. I've exposed using HTTP. I have an F1 API. Want to hit the F1 with right now. So what it has done is it actually the F1 API. This is the route I have defined as part of the NGINX and F1 API, F1-API. Since we also went and configured our upstream, it was quite easily. NGINX Plus is able to route the request from the F1 API to the upstream microservice, and the microservice actually route that back to an open airgas.com. This is the endpoint. As you can see, I can highlight that one. This is the place where my microservice actually talk to that and get the information and displaying it. So with this approach, I have not applied any policies. It's pretty much open now. So that's not a great idea. But with the next session, we will be looking more into how easily we can apply the policies and protect your upstream services without being consumed by some players in the market. There you go. So this is good. This is I just wanted to test only one API. We can actually test more than one. Anyway, we tried the hello NGINX Plus API. There you go. So all of this actually have this are all the stuff which I actually configured as part of the server block in the NGINX, where you can go and say that what type of header I want to respond back through with my response, and what type of request which I need to the headers I want to pass it to the upstream service as well. That's all configured as part of your NGINX Plus server block. So now moving into the Terraform side of the world, where we have actually went and created a whole Terraform infrastructure, GCP infrastructure with NGINX Plus and certain microservices that got deployed within GCP. So just to quickly shift, let's actually test this one. It has outputted few things. So let's see what's the weather. I have another web services microservice where you can actually see the weather of Melbourne as well. So that's pretty much it's ready for you to go and test it out straight away. I also wanted to share what is the infrastructure we created as part of the. So this is the infrastructure we created as part of GCP. It went and created a network load balancer, external facing network load balancer, and it also created a public subnet where I'm deploying the NGINX Plus instance, and also it created a few of the internal network load balancer within a microservice subnet where I have deployed all those three services I just showed you, just tested that, whether microservice, F1, and a Hello NGINX service. All these services I have open source. I have the code is right there, and also just for the simplicity purpose, what I did was I have created a Packer project which I shared. You can actually release that, create those images upfront. That is like a prerequisite before you creating this one. As a matter of time, what I did was I already created those images, and you can create those images, push that into GCP or AWS image repository, and using the Terraform, you can go and create this whole infrastructure end to end with a single click. So that's what we have achieved today by running those code which I shared with this bit. That is the end of the session. Let me look into, is there any questions? I haven't even looked into, is there any questions coming through? Oh, I can't see the comments. I can't see any questions coming through it. Okay. Somebody is relaying the questions. So someone asked, is there any support for this project in Azure? Absolutely, yes. I will be releasing the Azure. AWS almost done. I couldn't finish the testing, but I will be doing the Azure probably before end of this week. I'm hoping to do the next 3 sessions with Azure as well, because the idea what I wanted to prove is you can easily run this code regardless of any cloud. So yes, Azure will be ready very soon. The other question, is there any guide for newcomers in this topic and hands-on without request any license? It's a good question. Yes, you can you can do that without a license. You can use this NGINX open source as well. But what will happen is within the code which I shared with you, there are a lot of aspects you will be missing. A lot of NGINX Plus ability you will be missing. You won't be able to do certain things. I have commented that clearly within the Plus. So if you remove that, yes, you will be able to do this. You will be able to test that one. If you guys really need, I can actually do one for open source, but you can see the difference of what you will miss against NGINX open source versus NGINX Plus. Third one is the traffic throttling, and how does this work when set up with a load balancer? It's a great question. So that is the topic I really wanted to cover for the next one. That's the kind of a security policies I will be applying on exactly on the same code on the next session. where we can apply the rate limiting and throttling as well. With being an NGINX Plus, you can apply both rate limit as well as you can throttle based by giving some burst element to the users or to an IP address or any element that comes into the request. Even for the URI, you can apply that. Wait for the next session. That session I'm gonna thoroughly cover that one. The configuration will be also available in the same GitHub repository where you can run it by yourself. Cool. Feel free to actually put some comments on the GitHub as well. If you really wanted to see more things, I'm happy to actually add those things and make it easy for you guys to run this in any environment you wanted to. The idea is to definitely run this on all the 3 cloud environment. So Vinod, any guide or reference material for new people to learn from beginning? Kindly advise if you said. Yes, we have. We have a lot of blog posts and things which we could share with it. So the one blog post which I would strongly recommend you to do is this. I don't know whether I can actually. This is the link. If Marco could share this link, this is a great place where you could start learning the API gateways fundamentals. One of our product manager has written this extensively to actually how you can actually place those directives in a way that you can construct this NGINX Plus as an API gateway or NGINX as an API gateway. So I have followed a lot of things from this one. It's got amazing best practices to be followed from API gateway perspective. They will also send these resources through emails. So after this one, I'm pretty sure we will be sending all the GitHub links and these links. The link which I just shared in the screen, you will be able to see that as a part of your email as well. What's the cost? What are the cost of implementing an NGINX gateway? It's a great question. The cost wise, we can help you. I don't solve the cost problem, but we can actually touch base. I know if you could reach us in our channel, we could help you to get that cost thing going. But one thing I can assure you is that we are definitely more moderate than any other vendors in the market. Even though we give amazing functionality compared to other ones, we are reasonably good. But I don't have a number in my hand as of now. Mostly this is intended for a technical session. Sorry, but happy. Please reach us out on our contact us form. We should be able to help you out easily. Whatever use case, we should be able to help you out. Okay, good. I think that's it for the questions, I believe. So with the next session, what we will be covering is we'll be extending this to applying certain policies like applying rate limiting, JOT verifications, and throttling. All those things I would love to cover for the next one. We'll be using exactly the same code. Before that, I will also try to actually come up with both Azure and AWS, so you guys could easily test this out. Join us next week, next Tuesday, same time. That's going to be our episode where you can integrate with IDPs and do all those security policies as part of the NGINX Plus API onboarding. Till next episode, have a nice day. Thank you.